All righty then. Well, hello there, everyone. How's it going? Um, Welcome to Smart Money News and Business Reviews. We are in the midst of our host coming on in, Miss Valencia Brodus. Um, First, just want to say welcome to all the professionals. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing this evening?
Good evening. Good evening.
Doing good.
Awesome. Well, we want to make sure. There we go. All right, Miss Valencia, how's it going? How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing wonderful. Let me tell y'all what's going on with my microphone. I got this new phone. Remember, I told you about this phone a couple of weeks ago, the one that I kind of did that plan on. And so got this new iPhone. Yay. But my microphone wasn't on, and I had to go into my settings to bring it back. I didn't know how to do all that. So I'm sorry that I was the holdup. Hello, everybody. We got a full house, you guys. What do y'all think about that? All y'all, say hey again, please.
Hey.
Say hey again.
Oh, good evening.
Amen. Good. Okay, so you guys, we're gonna jump right in. Please, welcome back to your episode, your episode number 4 of Smart Money News and Business Reviews. We have got a full house this evening, and you guys asked us to bring you some information. I know that we've talked a lot about how do we get on our financial journey, how do we make things happen that we want them to happen in certain ways. And we've been trying to do what we can to bring you real people, real information, real business people, real experts to kind of help us all to go on our journey. So you listened in last week. Thank you so much. And you said, can we please hear a little bit more about how to operate a profitable business? And one of our viewers in their survey said, can y'all actually break it down a little better for me? It was one of our younger listeners. And he said, I really want to know some basics, about how to make this happen. So I said, that's good. And then someone also said, well, also, how about you all talked about setting goals, short-term goals and long-term goals, and said, so can you break that down a little bit too? So it said people are listening and they're wanting more information. Sorry about that, someone's calling me. But the great thing is that people are listening and they're saying, I really want to know more. I really want to know more. So we're going to make that happen. So here's what we're going to do. I want to just first, I need to just ask y'all, everybody tell me, how about them Chiefs? Not that they won, the division, but they're going to the Super Bowl. And down there where you are, right, Mr. Daryl Johnson in Arizona? What do y'all think about this? Everybody tell me just what you think.
I mean, just simply put, go Chiefs, Miss V. I mean, let's go. They are
Okay.
got Yeah.
Yes. Are you guys excited? I mean, like I know, and so I'm just gonna tell you who we got on with us, and that way, as they talk, you'll kind of know who's talking. First, we have on one side of our team experts, we have Mr. Jordan with us. Is he there?
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
not.
see the whole thing. I'm sorry, y'all. So, yes.
Yes.
How about Mr. Whitney Morgan?
Yes, he is.
I know I can see everyone. So I can't. Gotcha. I can't hear you guys. So we have Mr. Daryl Johnson.
Everybody.
I know, guys. I'm sorry. I can't see like the whole, array of us. So I'm trying to see who's where because I'm on my phone, not on my computer. But then we also have, in regards to our business review people today, they're going to talk to us about, starting and having, a profitable business. We have Miss Denaya Maltbia. Say hi to us.
Hi.
Hey, and we have Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali, how are you?
Good. Hi, guys.
Excellent. So I want now everybody just quickly tell me what do you got the sheet. Are we going to win? That's all we want to know. So, Mr. Ollie, are we going to win? He's not sure.
Well, you cut off. Say that one more time. Sorry.
Mr. Ali, you think we're going to win?
Heck yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
win.
And I said, do you think we're going to win the game? Yes. Okay, Mr. Nair, are we going to win?
For sure.
Mr. Whitney, are we going to win?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Mr. Durrell, yes, something's going on with my Wi-Fi. I can tell because, and thank you, for something weird. But you're in Arizona, Mr. Durrell. Are we going to win? Thank you, Mr. Whitney. Are we going to win?
Of course.
He did that very silently. Of course we are, because you're down here in Arizona. You're going to be that good luck charm.
And I'm
Okay.
staying in the house because it's a zoo.
Oh, I know, but is it a great zoo though? Like lots of red.
Lots of people everywhere. It's a zoo.
that you ain't going out in it. That's fun. So, okay. Did I miss somebody? Miss Bree, come on, Miss Bree. Are we gonna win?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
I
Hands
know.
down.
It's gonna be so amazing. And Mr. Alfred, did I miss him?
Yeah, well, I'll say that we need to control the line of scrimmage, and our rookie defensive backs have been doing great, and I hope they can do the same against that man is deadlifting like 600 pounds and throwing the ball and running and doing all that stuff and being a great leader. But we got our own great leader, so I'm hoping so. Yes.
We got Patrick
Absolutely.
Mahomes, man. Forget all those details, man.
Spoken like
He's
a
like,
true
well, I
attorney.
don't know.
Can't be a yes
I've
or
been
no
watching-
answer.
I've been watching sports shows. I had to try to flex a little.
That's okay, because that's what we want to know. Because thank you. Because here's what we kind of started with last week when he won. Well, not he, when the team, our Kansas City Chiefs won, and people were hurt, especially when Holmes was hurt, but he still he fought through it. He said, "I don't care. I am here, and I can sort of take this out of our hands," and he did it. And so it brings me actually to this week. The Super Bowl. We were there in 2020, and we won, right? Okay, we won. Yep. We were there in 2021, and we didn't win. I didn't say we lost. I said we didn't win. So if you think about it, like this is 2023, I think it's our time to kind of grab our title back. And we're going to do it because we're believers and we're down here. We're going to pray for the Chiefs. We ain't betting no money or nothing like that, but think about it. Similarly, we're in 2023. This is an amazing year for so many of us and our friends and our families. And we said we want some wins of our own. We want some championship titles on our own. I want to hit some of those transactions of my own. That's our win too. And so I'm just hoping that everybody is ready to talk to these awesome people with us on deck today, our experts and our business reviewers, about how we can really make some of these things happen in our lives. And so I'm going to just let them tell you a little bit about themselves. And I think that's going to be the best thing. And then we're going to get into how can I use my idea of a small business or my existing small business or my expanding business, my franchise, to make that extra income that I need to really make generational wealth happen for me and my family. And so I'm going to start with that piece right there. We have a business law attorney that's with us, Mr. Alfred. And as we talk to everyone these past 3 years, we've talked about making sure that you're having your bail. And I know I mentioned that on one of our other shows, like 2 weeks ago. And we mentioned that your bail is having your bank or your finance piece, and someone will talk about that. Having your accountant or tax, person to help you, someone will talk about that. And having your insurance piece or someone to make sure that you're able to do coverage on whatever you get, that you can keep it. And, if something happens, you can get compensated back for what you've invested in, the insurance piece. and then of course your lawyer, because at the end of the day, you got to put stuff together to make your business not only like profitable in the end, but to really make sure that you're legit. And so, Mr. Alfred, can you start us off with maybe just a couple of tips? We don't need to give it all away today, but just a couple of tips on when people want to start a business. What are some of the basic things you guide your clients to do as a business attorney?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing decision would be whether you are going to create an entity to, a limited liability company or a corporation or those types of things. I mean, some people are, working as a sole proprietor and they, have $1 million worth of insurance and they, maybe they don't need to. But I tend to lean towards going ahead and creating an entity because if and this is the key part, I think, and what it really is about is protecting your assets, right? You want to be able to keep your business assets separate from your personal assets. And if you have a limited liability company or a corporation and you put those assets in that entity and you keep it separate, you have a separate bank account, you sign your documents not in your personal name, but in your business's name, and you keep all of that stuff separate. Then let's say you have hopefully you don't have this kind of issue, but let's say somebody slips and falls and gets $1 million judgment against your restaurant and you only got $500,000 in insurance. Well, they coming after you for the other 500,000, right? But if you have this LLC and it's limited to those assets that are in there. So that other 500,000, I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't pay what we owe, but it's good luck getting that because that's in the entity and you're not coming and getting my house or my bank accounts and all my personal stuff. So I think that's the biggest thing, right? You want to protect your assets and that's what the entity is about. So that's the first thing.
Good, good. And if you want, we can come back through because we'll have our business people tell us a little bit about how they have their names and set up a little bit. But I wanted to start with you because normally when people want to start a business, they, go on their Secretary of State website, whether it's Missouri or wherever they are, and they're just trying to figure out, do I really want to do this? And they have a dream and they have a passion. And we're like, you need to set up your entity. And we ask people to really go see someone who knows what they're doing because does it happen sometimes? And any one of us can answer this question if it comes up. Does it happen though with you sometimes, Mr. Alfred, that you have clients that they'll have their LLCs or their corporations, they have things set up, but then they don't have any business insurance. And if that does happen, are they still protected if something happens, like, a slip and fall, like you mentioned?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would absolutely still get the insurance depending on, what you're doing. Like us attorneys, we need malpractice insurance. And you want that insurance to take the first hit, right? Instead of, I mean, there's your personal assets, but then there's your business assets, and then there's the insurance. So you want the insurance to take the first hit. So I think definitely making sure that you're adequately insured is something that you should definitely do. Definitely do.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Ali and Miss Tanaya, I'm going to come and talk to you guys in just a minute, kind of about how you all even thought about your companies and stuff. And before I do that, though, I want to talk a little bit with Mr. Johnson and Mr. Whitney because they both do, that credit piece, but also financing and taxing type stuff. So when I think about everybody needs an accountant or a bookkeeper to help them with their businesses. And I know sometimes people, they'll just go by and they can go buy their own QuickBooks or their own, fresh, fresh books types of equipment and kind of just do their own books and do their own taxes. And sometimes people can forget about not just that the business helps them to make a living, and have income and bring it home, but also the business can help them with certain like write-offs and stuff if they have it correct. Now, I'm not the expert there, so I'm just setting up that table. So I know Mr. Whitney and Mr. Durrell, can you tell us a little bit from that bookkeeping and financial side? What should our businesses be also thinking about as they're thinking of setting up their entity and doing business? Either of you, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna yield to my mentor in business credit, and
I
then
was going to give it to you.
okay. Well, to your question, for example, many of us start off. Maybe some of us have cut hair in the basement or done hair in the basement, and then we graduated, as Mr. Jordan said, to an entity, and we actually got that paperwork with the Secretary of State. When you do that, when you actually create an entity, even if you still have a W-2 job, you unlock yourself for over 450, business deductions because you have a home-based business. So you definitely want to be able to write off, travel, mileage, in some cases, even your internet or your electricity or anything. So all these things can deduct your taxable income and actually help your tax situation. But I'll yield to Mr. Johnson at this point in terms of bookkeeping and everything.
Okay.
Just want to add on there too. Always check with your tax professional, of course, your bookkeeper. And then from my perspective, domain name is first of all to make sure it's available, because that domain name can get you denied for credit and lending downstream, as well as I just learned this weekend talking to my new marketing guy to go ahead and buy your app domain name, which I wasn't even aware of that. So if you plan on having
What's
an
that?
app, if you plan on having an app, you want to buy that domain name also. So yeah, just getting your books together. First of all, QuickBooks. That's a great database. It's user friendly. It connects straight into your bank accounts, and you just reconcile your books as you do your bank. Well, no, people have bank registers anymore and bank accounts. Like my mother, she still writes checks. So that keeps it, and you do that on a monthly basis because it makes it a lot easier come the end of the year, even after a quarter, you can do it on a quarterly basis, because you're not going to remember all those transactions that have transpired through the various quarters and at the end of the year. So if you can't do it on a monthly basis or a weekly, monthly, do it on a quarterly basis. The bookkeeping is most important because that plays a part into the lending. It's almost like that song, your hip bone's connected to your shoulder bone. Everything works together in unison to make you lendable and to grow you as a company and to get you more funding. So that bookkeeping, because we can look at numbers, the numbers don't lie. It's going to tell us everything we need to know about your business, in addition to foundational structure pieces as your business name, because there's a restricted industry list. But liquor stores, beauty shops, so if your business name has that in there, it has the potential of making it harder for you to obtain credit lines or lending downstream. So then you move to the business address. So there's a whole list of things. The business address can be that part, the website. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but
No, that's okay. You are answering the question, because when we think about like the bookkeeping, and then I'll come back with you regarding the funding as well, because the bookkeeping, like you were saying, it gets us started, but we're bookkeeping under our, like you said, our company name, have to have email addresses, things looking legitimate so that funders will want to give us funding if we need it. And I know, yes.
And let me back
go
up there.
ahead. I saw you're like, I want that.
I want to make clear it's a business bank account that you're establishing and not a personal account you're running all your transactions through. Because in essence, if you're running it through a personal checking account from a lending perspective, you're not a business. That banking account is not classified as a business account, it's classified as a personal account. I've met a lot of business owners that have been structured that way, and we can't give them credit for the years they've been in business because I jokingly say they've been doing dirty business. Okay, so make sure that you have that business account set up as clear line in the sand. This is business, this is personal. Okay, and don't what we call commingle, mix the two together, because that just it's going to make things harder downstream, and also too set you up for a liability perspective. And the attorneys can talk to this, where if you're commingling funds, you can pierce your corporate veil, because a good attorney is going to pull all of those bank statements, line item by line item by line item, and say, hey, even though you've got a business account, you're using this as a personal account. These are personal expenses being ran through. Boom, there you go. Now they get into your bank account. So it's
And
very
personal
important.
liability.
Exactly. I'll let you give the attorneys on the
Yeah,
phone talk to
I was
that.
about to try to you
Go ahead,
you
go
already
ahead.
you already hit it, Mr. Johnson. I was about to get in on that, but no, I've seen it happen. Where that's the first thing they look at is the commingling of the funds, and or did these any even different entities, did they commingle funds, or did you commingle it with your personal account? And oh, you did, and so we want to get through to those assets that you were trying to protect, and you defeated the purpose. So no, you hit the nail on the head.
Right. And so I'm gonna ask a question, but then I want to actually give this one to Miss Tanaya and Mr. Ali. So either of you, share your feeling or thought on this. What you all, the three of you experts, just kind of shared made me think about, what if I'm a new business, and I have things in my personal account and I haven't set up an entity yet, but I do like maybe a DBA or something. So maybe I have a personal and a DBA. Could that still protect me a little bit? And I want to leave that there for just a second, only because I think a lot of us, I did that for a while, even when I, restarted this law name and all that. And so I have a law business because, my person, all that I had to. But at first I was just kind of starting and didn't solidify everything. And it makes me wonder, like, could I have still hurt myself? Anyway, but don't answer yet. So, Miss Danaya, Mr. Ali, please, we'll start with Miss Danaya. Say hello to us and tell us about your business, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Denaya. I'm 17 years old, and I've had my business since I was 10, January 2016. So this year will be 7 years. It's been a wild ride and a big learning experience. My business entails baking. I sell a lot of different like baked goods like brownies, cinnamon rolls, cookies, things like, because I've always liked cooking and all those things. So, yep, I've just been doing it for a while. As of now, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I just like pubbing, word of mouth, church, things like that. But, yep, so that's a little bit about me.
And you have an LLC, correct?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Is it
Not
something
yet.
you're thinking about, or kind of?
I turned 18 in June, so that's when I plan on getting it. So my mom wanted it to be like in my name, like in me. So she waited a little for that.
Gotcha. Just curious, because you've got some branding that you do, you've got logos, you have different things set up. And so, was wondering a lot of that for you, because you do business. She's laughing. You do. We're like, people, they're buying all the time. You do, which is great. And you're a young entrepreneur. So,
Yes.
so is it a busy job with school and everything? How do you manage it all, like the baking and the marketing and the billing?
Yes, it is. It's really busy to combat school, especially with the school that I go to, because I go to Lincoln College Prep, and that's an IB school. So we do a lot more work. The best way that I do it is to just not bake on the nights when I have like heavy studying or heavy stuff to do. But usually it's pretty manageable. Like bigger orders, I push to the weekend. And other than that, I'm just kind of like doing smaller things throughout the school. Oh,
Excellent.
sorry. Good question. The name of my business is Denia's Delectable Desserts. I just rebranded last year. It used to be Denia's Lovely Cupcakes, which you can find me on Facebook at Denia Malbia, and you can find me on Instagram at Denia, but I can type it in the chat as well.
Excellent, excellent. And no, thank you. And for all, us and all of you, all of our listeners, we're going to be putting everybody's websites and all that stuff. It'll be in we'll do a thank you at the end. We'll send it out with the survey. You're going to be able to get in touch with everyone to, either buy their products or ask them questions, or definitely if you need, an attorney or, the credit, tax, any of that, you'll be able to connect to help with the people that they can assist you. So, Mr. Nye, we're going to come back to you because you smile all the time when you talk about baking, and so it's quite exciting. Yes, face back as well to Denia Malbia. Gotcha. And Mr. Ali, talk to us, please. Tell us. I know you sent me your bio, and Miss Bree and I, we have it, and so you're like, read my bio. No, you have a lot of great stuff happening, Mr. Ali. So tell us, if you, however much you want, about kind of what you're doing now, and then we'll go backwards to some of your other business ventures that you have done. What you got going on right now?
Absolutely. So my name's Ali Zantout. I'm gonna be the ripe age of 30 coming in May, so I'm getting up there. So right now I own and operate a signage company. I bought a signage company from a gentleman who was retiring, made me quit my full-time job, and now transferring full-time into business ownership and operating, and just learning now just the day-to-day operations of hands-on actual business.
Excellent. So let me just ask, so with your signage business, what does that mean? Like, can we hire you to do something, or tell me?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
So
people may know, but
no. So the business that I bought was a gentleman who's been doing this in 1981. The guy started from hand painting signs, which I am not that skilled and not that good. I can't even cut a straight line. But so transfer from that into digital printing, then doing banners, then doing vinyl signs, where if you go to any fast food chain or restaurants, you see some signage just like stuck up in the, let's say, windows on the outside. That would be a different type of like material, it just sticks on it. Then I do also car decals and car logos. So if you want any lettering on your cars, I do that. And any prints or magnets, I do that also. But the bread and butter for this business is banners and advertising and those vinyl signs. And they do have signs that go on plastic. It's called Coroplast, so that's also part of some of the business. And small stickers here and there, which I enjoy doing some today, like a new client.
excellent. So I know this is a business that you've recently acquired and you're doing. And what gave you the entrepreneurial bug? Because you've been doing different businesses since, as I've learned, met you and learned. Tell us what gave you that bug?
When I have also real estate, that's what I dabble in, but just the signage and operating a business day to day, what caught my eye is where obviously Rich Dad Poor Dad, if anyone hasn't read that book or audiobook, it's on YouTube for free. That's what kind of started my mindset back in 2015, 2016. So from there, just having a business and running it where like you're your own boss, but in a chance where you can make double, triple, quadruple your income just as hard as you work, that caught my eye more. Then the more you get into it slowly, it comes in, it's not all about the money. It's more about your actual freedom. That way I don't have to go to work, but when there's work, like I enjoy doing it. So it's not just going in, staring at a screen all day, hating my life, and leaving. And just with that attitude, I learned within like 2 weeks of, because I used to be an architecture designer, engineering firm. Within the first 2 weeks of working on my full-time job, I realized some people were just not happy. And they were 10, 20 years into this job. That was something in my head. I was like, whoa, why aren't they happy? So just that's how it started like clicking in my head a little bit.
To do something different. No, that's good. And so thank you. So when you think about from the operations side, we've talked about, of course, legal stuff, but that accounting and that bookkeeping. I know one of the challenges for me and maybe other entrepreneurs is we can do our job and do it great, do it well, but eventually you have to bill people a lot, do invoicing and stuff. And so when I think of bookkeeping, I used to always think about expenses, like track your expenses, but that billing side, us, billing customers is a huge piece. And how you have a lot of, accounts and different things. How do you handle that well so that you can show money in your account in case the banks want to give you some loans?
So I don't know how Denia does it, but with my real estate, when I used to go to my IRS tax every year, I would have a stack of receipts and paper written stuff. I would bring it in and just then I would go through one by one. Where I think the first year doing it, the guy was like, "You need to change this and be more professional." He said it as like a dad would say to his son, who was stern, but just being, you need to be serious about this. So I slowly incorporated QuickBooks in mine. But with this business, like day-to-day operations, where net 30, that one was newer to me, where I had to get used to it. And with if anyone doesn't know what that means, like whenever you invoice an item or product or service, they get to pay you within 30 days, which that was new to me. When I first did my few invoices, I sat down, I was like, okay, where's my money? Now my mentor was saying, you get it in 30 days. That's what that net 30 means. So that was just an eye-opening for me, just like
And that's
just a newer
normal. That
learning
30
thing.
days, yeah, for all businesses is normal. So good. Miss Denia, and then we'll go back to our experts. How do your invoicing, billing, do you do it on a cycle or when they pick it up? How do you keep track of your incoming revenue, sort of?
Yes. Well, I usually pass the books to my mom, but I do look at all of them,
Okay.
of course. No, but I do look at all of them. No, the best way when I get orders, of course, I write them down and then like I'll send it to my mom and she'll like type it up and it's easier that way. Or we'll have it like, because I also sell sometimes like at school and that's like smaller things. So that's like a cookie for $1. And usually like people cash at me for those, so it shows who sent what in my like thing. It'll be like, oh, you got $1 for a cookie, and it's easier to see it that way too. And then I just write that down too. So that's the easiest way for me since it's not like giant like order stuff. So yeah.
But it's a system that's important to your business. That's right, right. Because that's you know, Mr. Johnson from like funding, how is it that we not only show our expenses, but definitely if we're trying to get funding from people, being really able to show the money that we have coming in. Did I catch him off guard? Where'd he go?
You cut
Come
in and
back.
out. You cut in and
Oh,
out.
I'm sorry. I know. So I'm going to take out my cord. How about that? Okay. So sorry about that. So in regards to like from the funding aspect, and I know, many of us either we've gotten loans or doing some things, but I know with you being really a financial funding specialist based on your company and everything, and talk about that if you want to a little bit, your company, but how important is it to make sure that we're not only showing, you know, our expenses, meaning not commingling that way, but paying bills out of our account, but really showing the money coming in, because sometimes people don't want to show the money coming in.
Right, because they
You
think
can
that
take that from there.
the goal, I know, thank you. Appreciate that. Because the goal is not to pay taxes, but there's so many ways that's a good bookkeeper CPA can show you how to not pay taxes, but still show the money coming in. It's also too, you start having conversations with your bookkeeper and CPA as, hey, what big expenses do you have planning on coming up? Are you planning on buying a house? Plan on buying a car? Then we need to 2 years before, preferably, start setting up the books to show that your business makes so much money, or you're pulling a salary or pulling forgetting the word now, a stipend each month, each week, the same amount, because we can use that to show proof that you're getting paid because you're taking out the same amount of money each week or each 2 weeks to say that's your salary, your draw. That's the word. So something that definitely shows that you were getting money, whether it's the tax returns and your business is seasoned enough where it can afford to pay the debt, and or you're having a draw or a salary that your W-2, depending on your structure, getting a little detailed here, where then it's easier to do it from a W-2 or a draw perspective as opposed to a self-employed perspective, getting a loan. So, because we just get your W-2 money versus the loan or the self-employed, there's a lot more calculations that go into that. So that's
Gotcha.
where your bookkeeper, CPA can kind of help you navigate that space. And Whitney can definitely jump in there and add some more to that.
Please
Well,
do, Mr. Whitney.
what Daryl's essentially describing is that as a business owner, you have to be a business owner. Like, this isn't a side hustle, this isn't a hobby. So, it's okay to track your paperwork, to be able, for tax purposes, for fundability purposes, because when you approach a bank or a lender, they're measuring your risk as a business owner, or even if you're just a regular civilian and you're asking for a home loan or a car loan, you're asking for money. So they want to see your ability to pay that back. It's not a grant, it's not a scholarship. So they want to be able to see, do you have the ability to pay me back? So that's what credit is. It measures risk. You being able to provide your bank statements and things like that. All they're doing, they're not looking at the details. They just want to say, okay, you say you bring in 100,000 a year or whatever. Let's verify that that's true. Okay, then we can look at the other factors of your business or your personal life. So, taking care of your paperwork, whether that's QuickBooks or what have you. And then Ali mentioned Robert Kiyosaki. That's one of the people that got me in the business as well and changed my mindset. And I mentioned him to say it's okay to pay professionals. Mr. Jordan is a lawyer. Pay a CPA, whoever, to handle those items for you. You can represent yourself in court. You can mow your own grass. You can do your own credit, but the results may not be as great as you want them to be.
And can I add on to that? If you're going to give a lending institution bank statements, 3 months, 6 months bank statements, you don't want to taint that file by having a lot of insufficient funds. Because we're looking at the average money running through on a monthly basis, but we're also analyzing the stability of the money. The same with your credit report. You guys are access to 2 years consumer credit. The banks can go back your full history. So there's databases with a few keystrokes. I can learn all about you personally and business-wise from different credit reporting agencies. So this is very important. And working with a loan officer, they can definitely direct you to, okay, if there are showing some insufficient funds, let's wait till we get, a month or two where it's not showing insufficient funds, because we don't want to influence that underwriter's opinion of you and your business. So we just want to make sure you're in your Sunday best when we present your file to a loan processor. That's what I've done my full career. My job was to make that file look pretty, so then hand it off to an underwriter where they can just grade it as like a paper, because I know what they're looking for, and I can ask for those bank statements to hold off on 1 month because let's get a new one in, write letter of explanations as to lapse in money, lapse in jobs, whatever the case may be. My role was to make that file look pretty to hand off to an underwriter. So now they're just grading it versus looking for items, because I have already pre-written that file for the underwriter to sign off on. So it's very important. Your lending partner will let you know how to position, and they'll look at the docs before they send them in, and advise you how to do things.
No, that's good. Thank you. I'm going to jump over to Miss Bree for a second, because you all were making me think about kind of that home buying process as well a little. And I know, Bree, you're not the lender, but I know last week we had talked about even that transaction. So much of this is coming back to still, knowing your money, making sure that everything is looking good, knowing what's coming in and out. And so, Miss Bree, with your business, are there certain things or tips that you would tell people as well as far as the operation side? Because as a realtor, I definitely know that you have a lot of transactions happening, and with your own small business.
Yes, ma'am. No, that's a really great question, really great tips. And thank you, Mr. Alfred, Mr. Darrell, and Mr. Whitney, because I have been writing down notes. Um, but I mean, the biggest thing for a realtor is just making sure that because I am 1099, so like a lot of like the Social Security funds don't get withheld from me. My federal and state taxes don't get withheld. So when it comes down to I get these big checks, I have to then put in place, which I have discussed with Mr. Ross, as well as my bank, to make sure that my money gets broken off into different percentages. So on average, I will make sure 25 to 30% of my check goes to taxes, so on and so forth. So that's taken care of. And then I split it up between what I pay myself and owner operations expenses, stuff like that. So I actually, funny enough, just read this book. It's called Profit First. I think along with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then with Profit First, I've learned that even though it's great to have all that stuff lined up, it's important to pay yourself. So that way you remind yourself why you're being a 1099 instead of just going and collecting a W-2 outside of the freedoms and everything that it does provide.
Yeah.
And then keep all of your receipts.
All of them, all of them, all of them. No, this is good. This is good. We're going to take a break in a minute, and we're going to ask, of course, our platform host, Mr. George Walker of KUAW, to kind of remind people about KUAW and what it does, what it stands for. And I know we're all on Zoom today, but we're going to be coming down there as a team to let all of our experts and other people to see what's happening down there. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful space. And you've done great things with it, Mr. Walker. So if you will, tell us about KUAW and how we can make sure we tune in.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station, right here in Kansas City, Missouri, located at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard in the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center building. And you can listen to us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and Twitch. You can also pick us up online, audio only, on Get Me Radio, Online Radio Bot, mytuner.com, and the TuneIn app. And if you have a Google or Amazon smart speaker, tell it to play KUAW Radio. So thank you for listening. Keep listening to Smart Money. They're on every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. And this is KUAW Radio.
Mr. Walker, did you hear him talking about your voice? You got that smooth jazz voice, and you do.
I need a drink. It's like,
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. So, and you all saw Miss Paris there, watching, making things happen. One of the things that I do want to share, a lot of our young leaders, they may not be on our expert panels right now, but Mr. Walker and the radio station, they are really helping us to train our young people and older people too, and to learn some things about, how this all works. And so this is kind of like our small business project with our young leaders so that we can still help them to understand systems and how things work. So really thanks to Ms. Paris and Mr. Jeffrey and Ms. Dara for making sure that that technical side is really, running well for us. And of course, yay. And of course, Mr. Walker, we really appreciate you because he's training us all and helping us to know how to make this happen, because I can talk, but I can't do what they do. So I really, really appreciate that. So let's do this. And thank you, Mr. Joe Johnson and Mr. Whitney Morgan. So, hey, are they doing that back there? See what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing that. They're putting y'all stuff up. They are great. They are great. We're really learning how not just to give information, we're really learning how to run this, radio program from beginning to end, and all the different aspects of it. So we really appreciate this opportunity. We've been doing for 3 years. We've been making sure that we can do what we can, our financial empowerment circle of, kind of getting up every morning. It used to be on Saturdays, 9 o'clock, and sharing with each other all that we were learning and with ourselves. And then I appreciate the opportunity that we have now to really go out, not just to Kansas City, not just to Jackson County, not just to Missouri or United States. You guys, we are all over the world. We had someone that called in, well, not called us, but called in from Ukraine. I mean, we've had the radio station. It's really amazing. And we're learning a lot. And Mr. Walker, we are thankful. And we have an opportunity to really spread more and more financial empowerment all over Arizona, everywhere, where everybody else is. So pretty exciting stuff. So let's do this. I want to come back in and I want to definitely talk with Miss Denaya and Mr. Ali. You have these experts here. And of course, you're experts too, because you're running your businesses also. Are there any questions that you would like to ask any of them, for example, about whether it's about personal credit or business loans or legal stuff while they're here? Because we want to say, as a business owner, sometimes we might have questions, and when they're there, we'll say, I should have asked them. And if not, I've got some. So I want to give you guys a chance first to talk to them and just tell us anything that you want us to know about operating your businesses, Ms. Denaya and Mr. Ali.
Okay, so next year I'll be going to college, so it'll be like a hold on my business and stuff because I don't really want to try and like add that to it. And I want to go for like a business degree and everything and likely like start my company when I graduate from college. But I was wondering, like, would it be smart to just get an LLC after or to get it before?
So you're kind of saying, do you need to really put it on hold, or you're just gonna put it on hold, or you're just planning to stop?
Well, like I didn't want to like completely stop, but it won't be as like I won't be home. So like I won't have a kitchen and bacon like every day to just be like, so that's what I'm saying. Would it be smarter to wait till after, or would it be smart to start now?
If I could, you want to start that entity ASAP. Because from a lending perspective, we're looking at seasoning, the length of time that it's been established and opened, as opposed to waiting till 4 years down the line. Because from an underwriting perspective, that 1 to 5 year mark is very volatile. So a lot of business go under that 1 to 5 year mark. You've been in it since you were 16 or 8, you said? Or sorry, I forgot the age.
10.
10. You ready for retirement, girl.
Right.
So you better get that entity open, because all that history is going to set you up for success when it comes to lending.
Right.
So that's why it's important to get that entity established. DBA is great, but an entity to open a business bank account, I think you can do with the DBA also. Ms. Lynch, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just get that entity open, because we need that history, that length of time. Right. That's going to help you get money downstream, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Let me ask you a different question, Ms. Denaya. So do you plan to come home sometimes on your breaks and stuff to do stuff? I mean, do you plan to come home on breaks sometimes?
Yes, I do, because I plan on going to KU, which is like 45 minutes away. So that was
I didn't want to say that out loud, but yay.
Let's say it out loud. Go Jayhawks.
Yay.
But like that's not too far for me. So it wouldn't be like impossible. But I want to focus on what I'm working on. So I don't want like it to just become too much. So that's what I was saying. But like during like college, since I'm in culinary school right now, and when I graduate high school, I'll graduate with my food license and culinary certificate, so I can work in the kitchen during college. So it wouldn't really be a problem for me not to like completely be able to be completely into it, because I plan on working as like a chef and stuff during it. So yeah, that was why I was just wondering. But yeah.
and I must say a little thing, and then Mr. Whitney may actually take this after I say this. So it's possible during holidays and all of that. What if you come home on certain holidays or the summer or something, and you do booths, or you get contracts with the city or different places only on those breaks and holidays. So you can still, of course, keep your entity open, but only do seasonal events, especially if you had certifications. Isn't that right, Mr. Whitney?
Yeah, absolutely. So to Daryl's point, yes, get your entity yesterday, because that's only going to help you moving forward. And then to Valencia's point, it's perfectly fine to do those events using your parents' address as like your principal place of business, as your headquarters. That's fine. Get that entity established there. But yeah, don't let all those thoughts prevent you from getting your entity and establishing your business bank account, because you're young and the sky is the limit, moving forward. Because like he said, you've been in business longer than I have. A lot of these people on this call. So getting those entities established, getting that paperwork side. Obviously, you already know the culinary side of it. So just us helping you with the paperwork side is going to help your business go to the moon.
Absolutely. Because imagine this, Miss Tanaya, you're still doing some seasonal stuff, and you're building up not just your credit, but you're managing well your paperwork, and your accounts are looking great because you got money coming in and not a ton of expenses. And then 3 years down the road, right before you graduate, great position, because you're going to be look at your personal credit and stuff, and not a whole lot of student loans, so no debt, because you're doing scholarships. And so what if you're in a position then to, because you stayed moving, and again, you'll talk about this offline, meaning we're not pressuring you to do it, we're just giving you options and ideas. Then you're going to be in an even stronger position right before you graduate to get either a SBA loan or business loans to open up your own kitchen. Or definitely, I know you want to be an athletic chef, so sometimes that's going to take money to travel and do things and have the kitchen you need to really be able to serve them. So definitely let's keep talking, and that's good.
If I can just jump on that real quick.
Yes.
I have two businesses, and I'll be brief, but my law firm, I had it open 2 years before I did anything with it, and you're already doing stuff. And I got another business that I made an investment this year, and got an equity stake in a startup, and I had that for 10 years before I did anything with it. And so you can open it up and, do what you want to do with it. That's not a problem at all.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to add on, while you're in school, it's very important for your consumer credit, and Whitney can definitely talk to this in further detail. You want to make sure you can get keep your consumer credit, your credit file great, and keep building on it, because as you season that and get more types of consumer credit, when you graduate, if you've got a strong credit score personally, it's going to also set you up for success when you come out of college. So don't fall into the credit card trap. I don't know if they still do that at the colleges, where they target the students for credit cards. Yeah, so please stay away from that trap of getting a ton of credit cards. Some of them are great. You need to have different mixture types, which we can talk about, to help grow that credit score. And the seasoning, again, the longer you have those, we call them trade lines. So a credit card, a car loan, those are all considered trade lines. The longer you have those, the more seasoning, it's only going to strengthen your position once you get out of college. So I'll keep saying, it's going to set you up for really good success downstream. And of course, tacking on the certifications get you into different rooms. Right. Just as we have the Super Bowl coming here now, where they did the big push to look for certified businesses. Mm-hmm. You're a woman, you're a minority. Getting those certifications will get you into those rooms and give your business as much competitive advantage as you possibly can give over somebody else that's doing the same thing you're doing. Right. Okay? Leverage those tools to get you in better rooms and give you more opportunities to grow.
Thank you.
Ask her
Thank you.
mother if she has a credit card that has no late payments on it and has a low, very low amount of credit card debt on there, and ask her if she can add you as an authorized user. That will help establish your credit history right now. And tell her she doesn't have to worry because the credit card can come to your house and then she can tear it up, she can put it away so you don't actually use it, but now you're getting that credit history established on your credit report. And then Valencia threw me an alley-oop and I bricked it in terms of certification. So you're a young Black woman, so you are able to get a WBE, Women Business Enterprise, a DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, and a Minority Business Enterprise. So that just helps your business in terms of its reputation and its standing, because now an outside entity has looked at your business, has looked at your paperwork, and has found you been able to pass that certification test, so to speak. And now you can take that to any entity that you're looking to do business with and show them, hey, I'm certified, and that will help you get more business. Plus, it helps market your business as well.
Okay.
So,
And my mom knows about that. She did that for my brother, and that helped him. He graduated like a couple years back. So yeah, she was talking about getting ready to start.
And can I
excellent.
Well, you're the
to that?
millionaire. She did do it for you. You're the millionaire.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I'm gonna stop us there. I think we got about 30 seconds left. And so you know what this means, you guys? That means we need to do round 2 down at the place. And so, because this is good stuff, and we'll have other businesses come in and talk. And that's the thing we wanted, is to get some businesses to talk to us. And Miss Bree, I know I just talked you out of it. So say bye to us. You wind us out, Miss Bree, and tell us what we need to be looking forward to.
All right, guys. Well, definitely thank you for joining us with Smart Money News and Business Reviews. These are our professionals. Please be sure to always tune in with us on Monday night, 7 p.m., as well as you may have missed us at Nieces this past Friday, but don't fret. We'll be at Power Play this coming Friday with prizes and wonderful things to come. See you guys
Right.
then.
And we'll have our thank you flyer with all that information on it, and we'll be sending it out with the survey. Appreciate you guys so much. All of you are experts, our small business reviewers. Thank you. And talk to you very soon. Go Chiefs.
Bye.